I wanted to thank all of you for being here today. We started this program with the Coordinated Assistance Network over a year ago in order to connect veterans, service members, and their families with high quality, ethical, objective financial advice and guidance. Our friends at CAN, Steve Stout, Roberto Ruby will be telling you more about what the Coordinated Assistance Network is. But we've been working with them over the last year or so to develop this pro bono financial planning component, adding to the other services and connections that the platform offers those in need. CAN started out as a platform just serving members of the military and veterans. It was originally called the Yellow Ribbon Network. Now the client base has expanded more broadly to serve anyone in need through a variety of different services. So this financial planning component is just one, and we'll hear more about it today and how you can get involved to provide services to veterans and their families. And I think that's it. So, and just I want to remind all of you to if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, we're always making improvements to the program. Just reach out to me. Steve will be the program manager at CAN, who you'll be closest to during your engagements. So just, reach out, use us as a resource, and provide any feedback. That's how we improve. So I'm going to turn it over to Steve to introduce himself and get started with the demo.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rachel. As Rachel said, my name is Steve, and Steve Stout. I've been with the Coordinated Assistance Network now for about 14 years, providing financial coaching, financial education to military members and veterans, service members. So I've seen and heard just about everything with the military community. We're very thankful for you guys coming and volunteering your time and being interested in this program. I am always available. Shoot me an email, give me a call if you have questions, if there's anything that pops up that you don't know how to handle within the network or within the veteran community. So like Rachel said, we've been doing this for about a year now, and we kind of honed everything into where it works just perfect for both the certified financial planners as well as the veterans themselves. So it's a very easy process if you are interested to get signed up, to have cases assigned to you, and to work these. This is pro bono coaching, so it is you giving back to the community and specific to the veteran community. So we're very grateful for that. They're grateful for that as well. So I'll take you through the sign up process of how you get into the network, then how you get into the actual program itself, and then what you can expect once you start receiving cases. I'll make it as quick as I can. Shouldn't take no more than about 15 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions. I know Beverly's with us. She is a current volunteer. She's done a great job and worked with several veterans. And so this is an excellent way to give back, an excellent way to help out the veteran community. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. If you'll bear with me just a second. Does everybody see my ocean here?
Yes.
All right, we're good to go. So whenever you come to the Coordinated Assistance Network, the address is canportal.org, and you'll get information on that from Rachel if you haven't already. This is where you're going to come to log into the network and also to volunteer to be a part of the program. As you can see, as soon as you click on it, it takes you right to this click to enroll if you're a client. Certified financial planners, click here to volunteer. What you're going to do is you're going to click on that. Sorry, bear with me just a second. Didn't mean to do that. Once you click to volunteer, it's going to take you to this page where you're just putting in your information and you're building your profile, which is basically first name, last name, create a password, put in your email. You can upload a photo if you would like. Some people, you got great pictures, not me. It doesn't work well for me. I try to keep my face off of everything that I can. Your address, city you live in, the state, your gender identity, everything. The clients are not going to see this. Anything personal to you is basically for your own information. They will see that you are a certified financial planner. They will see your picture if you upload it, and that's all the information that they're going to have. So you'll put in your contact phone number, and once you get down to the bottom, it's going to pop up 3 different categories here. You're going to be interested in foundation for financial planning. So that's what you'll click on, because that's the type of counseling that you're going to be providing through the program if you choose to come into it. And then you certify that the information is accurate and true. You want to click submit. Once you click submit, you've built your dashboard, and this is your profile. Everything is put into the system, and you're good to go from that point. So that gets you into the network. It does not get you into the program quite yet. There's still one more step that you're going to have to take. Once you log into the network, as I said, you've already created your password. This is going to be what your landing page actually looks like. And bear with me just a second here. As you can come in, this is my actual counseling page that I have built for myself. You can see that once you come in, it's going to have your name. It's going to have your current status, if you're available, if you're not available. It'll have ratings and reviews that clients can leave for you. These are only seen by you. If a client leaves a rating of 5 stars or 1 star, they may not like you. That's okay. It's not something that's offensive to you. It's just not everybody likes us or likes the counseling that we provide. Don't take it personal if they leave a bad rating. But you'll have a picture of yourself if you choose to upload that. As you kind of scroll down on your landing page, you'll see that any counseling sessions you have that you've completed that are in counseling, that you've claimed. So this kind of gives you an overview of the financial counselings that you have available that you're providing for them. That's really all you need to worry about on this landing page or on your dashboard. So every time you open the network, it's going to come right into the dashboard, right on your landing page, and just kind of give you an overview of what's going on with your counseling page itself. And any questions y'all have, you can save it to the end. If you have a question that's immediate, go ahead and throw it out there on the network, and we'll be happy to address it. So like I said, this creates your page within the network. To enter into the program with Foundation for Financial Planning, all you're going to do is slide right over here to Browse Opportunities. Click on that. And these are the different opportunities that are available within the network itself. You'll see several of them on here. You won't need to worry about all of those because they do not apply to you. The only one that you're going to need to worry about, as you can see, is Foundation for Financial Planning. You'll scroll over, click Apply. And once you click that Apply button, that is all you need to do to be into the program itself. So you've created your dashboard, you've gone into your dashboard, you've clicked Apply to the program itself, and Foundation for Financial Planning. What that will do is that will send Rachel an email just letting her know, hey, you've entered into the program, and they will verify you're a certified financial planner, which you all are, and then you're good to go. You'll start receiving cases from that point and work them as you choose to do so. So very simple process, basically 2 steps: create your profile, go and browse opportunities, accept that opportunity that you want to work into it. Now you can, if you're available, if you want to make yourself unavailable throughout this program, you can click on the Do Not Disturb, be right back, appear offline, however you want to do that. So you'll see that that is available to you as well. Now, from there, you can look at your profile, kind of adjust it if you need to. You know, it's always going to be there for you to view and the information you have on here. So you can see that I've built my profile. It's got information on it. These are the programs that I'm working in myself. You'll have your profile. The next step you're going to have to take is you're going to have to sign the HIPAA compliance agreement, which basically states that the network, it is HIPAA compliant. All the information that comes into it is protected, and we take that very serious. So we know that you guys have seen these HIPAA compliance forms many times. It just basically states that you agree to keep the information that comes in through the network confidential. If you print it out, you are responsible for the confidentiality of that information, and you need to destroy it in the same manner as you would anything else. Shred it, burn it, do whatever, pour acid on it, I don't care. But as long as you destroy it and not let it get out, that's perfectly fine. You're going to sign this agreement. It's basically an e-sign. So you'll just read through it, scroll down to the very bottom, and it's going to have a place for you to sign. Just a second here. Yeah, you'll sign it and then print your name. And then once you've done that, it's going to have accept. So you'll click on accept and you're good to go. That is all that you're required to do to be in the program. I think Rachel sends one other document out that she'll have you sign. Is that correct, Rachel?
Sorry,
Service
taking
agreement.
myself off mute. Yeah, there's a letter of engagement that we also put in the document library that you can review and sign.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, and the letter of engagement is just our typical pro bono letter of engagement, and it outlines things like there's no lead generation, no selling of products and services. This is a short-term engagement. There's no implementation. Those basic things.
Hey,
Was
you need
that-
help? Okay.
Okay, we're good. All right, so that's all you have to sign within the network itself, which is basically the HIPAA compliance form. So two things: you're going to go into your dashboard, you're going to browse opportunities, accept, apply to be in the program, and then go down to My Documents and
Hey, good. How are you?
and click on the HIPAA compliance form and sign that. So very simple. Once you've done that, you're in the program. You can accept clients at that point. I get notification just stating that this counselor has entered into the program. I'll engage that. You'll get an email back stating that you have been accepted into the program, and we'll be assigning cases to you. So as you can see right here from your dashboard, the only things that you're going to have to worry about are basically these top 5 right here. Now you can always add an applicant if you'd like to. You can add a file. This is your landing page, your counseling page within the networks. If you've got a veteran or a family member that's a veteran that you want to help out and provide counseling to, you can do that within this network. So you would basically fill out this information for them, and that throws it right on your file management page. Nobody else sees that. You can counsel them the same way you would any other veteran that comes through the network. So as you can see, it's going to ask you information on marital status, race, ethnicity, financial counseling, and so forth, and what they want to be counseled for. But that's for your own personal use. The next big thing you're going to see is file management. So this is where you're going to go to accept your files, to claim files, and to work the files within the network. So you've come into the program, you're wanting to provide coaching, I'm assigning you a case. You're going to get notification via email that you've received that case. And then when you log in to go work that, right under file management right here. And it will take you right to that too as well. So you'll see that I've got a test client that I've been assigned, and it's going to tell me basic information about this client from the main screen. So Steve McTester, the date that I've received it, the type of coaching, and then the status of the companion case. So all I'm going to do is click on that, and it's going to pull information up on this client itself. So now you're in the actual file management table. This is everything to deal with that file, and it's a very simple process of what you actually have to do as a certified family. We've tried to make it as easy as possible without any hiccups. So, very simple on how you want to provide coaching or counseling and how you actually go in and complete the process of that file. So you're going to see just some basic information on this client right here. You see their name, branch of service they were in. Everyone you see is going to have their logo uploaded. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, space, whatever that thing is, it's in there as well. But you're going to see the name, gender, age, branch of service, if they're active duty or not, and what conflicts they served in. As you scroll down, it's kind of just some more basic information, what their address is, what their phone number is, email, and then you're going to see basically over here what their employment status is, as well as gross household income, how many people live in. This is just kind of gathering information for yourself. Hey, when I call this guy, I want to know a little bit about what's going on with his life before I actually reach out to him. That way I kind of know what to expect, or I kind of know where he's at. As you scroll on down, it'll tell you if they're disabled or not, what percentage they're disabled. It may or may not mean anything to you. If you've had previous military service, you can kind of relate and say, yeah, okay, I can kind of figure out this guy's 100% service connected disabled. He's got other things he's dealing with. He's got a disability. So if they've got a disability, they may say they have traumatic brain injury or post-traumatic stress, whatever. You can scroll on down, also see some other information on them that's available to you. And you'll see right here, you can message the applicant. So anytime you want to send the applicant a message, you can. So you can click on that. Basically go right here to the name of the applicant and say, hey, glad to meet you, or whatever, or we've got an appointment scheduled for Thursday at 8 o'clock, whatever you want to send to them, and they'll receive that message from you. You can also send me a message as well. So if you say, hey, Steve, I've got a question regarding how do I upload a document or whatever. So you would just type that in, send that to me. That's going to come directly to me. And then that way I'll pull that.
Here's that thing.
This is how you handle this situation, or this is how you deal with this problem. You can call me. What I do when I assign cases is I will actually call the client before you ever receive them, because we want to make contact with the veterans, let them know about the program, let them know, hey, this is going to be your financial coach that I'm assigning your case to. They're going to be reaching out to you, so make sure you're responsive to them. We don't want you guys wasting your time. We know it's extremely valuable to you. So we want it to be more so to where they know you're going to call, you know a time frame that they're expecting you to reach out, and then you guys can schedule an appointment and go from there. So I wish it were something to where we could say that everybody is responsive, but working in the financial field, y'all know as well as I do, some people just aren't going to keep their appointments. That is not a reflection on your work or on who you are. If they don't keep their appointment, you can reach out to them one more time, and if they still don't respond back, go ahead and throw that thing away, put it on admin hold until they decide they're going to be responsive and come back for the financial coaching. So, we have, I'd like to say it's probably about 60-40, 50-50 on the ratio of how many people actually come through. And once I've spoken with them, and then the certified financial planner reaches out to provide financial counseling, that actually show up for appointments. It may be higher for you, it may even be lower, but it's not a reflection of the work you're doing or on the work we're doing as a whole. It's just the financial industry. It's the counseling industry. Some people change their minds, their situation changes. They may even be in the hospital. A lot of these veterans, have issues they're dealing with outside of just financial. So just keep that in mind, and don't take it as something personal or as an offense. So you kind of looked over their information, then you can scroll down basically, and this is going to tell you all the file details right here. So if I click on request info, I see that they're wanting financial coaching. They'll have a brief description, which maybe I need to pay my light bill and budget better. Or they may have a long description, and kind of let you know what's going on with their work, or whatever, what's going on with the VA and so forth. So just kind of read over that. Same thing, you've got applicant info here, which tells me all about who they are. You've got the military info, This is some interesting information, talks about their military service as well. You're going to have status. Now, this is probably one of the most important aspects of the whole counseling process, which is the status of the case. Once you sign in, you see that I've assigned you a case. It's basically going to say there'll be a screen that'll pop up. It's going to say, please go down and accept this case. That means that you say, okay, I want this case. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to provide coaching for this veteran. And this is where this status bar comes into play at. So there's two different status bars. You've got the top one, which is the status bar that I see. You've got the bottom, which is the status bar that you see. Now, the one that I see, it's going to tell me where you are in the process of this counseling session. So it's either going to be claimed, verified, approved, fulfilled, or closed. As you change these to counseling, I've accepted it, I've contacted them, I'm providing counseling for them, the case is completed. It just lets us know as an organization, hey, where this case is in the process. So all you're going to do to change the status on this is go to this change counseling status, and it's right here under status. You can't miss it. Drop that down, and I've contacted them. Click on this. You can message the applicant from there as well. So as soon as you click on that, you'll see that's going to change this bottom status to contacted. It's also going to let me know as a project coordinator where this case is in the counseling process. That way I don't ever have to call you or email you or anything to say, where are you in the process of this session? It shows automatically. So anytime you do that, you're just going to click on status and change that. Now, let's say you've tried calling this client 2 or 3 times. They're not responding back to you. That's perfectly fine. It's on them. It's not on you. You're going to click admin hold. And what that does is that basically takes this file, it places it on hold. It removes them from your file management table. If you've counseled them and you've completed the session, hey, I'm done with what they asked. I've provided them with the information. All you're going to do is click completed. So very simple process there. Once you click completed, what that's going to do is that's going to show, you'll see where it changes it right here. So it's changed this file to completed, and it automatically removes that from your file management table. It lets me know that that case is done. And then if you're ready for another case, I'll assign you another case, and you can back off to the races again. 2 other things that I want to show you here. Basically, internal case file and notes. So we're still in file details here. Internal case file and notes is just basically notes for what you're doing with this client and the coaching that you're providing. So you can see right here, I called this client, no answer. This is for my own information. I like to be able to go in and just see, hey, what have I done on this case? Where am I at? I set an appointment with the client for 2 o'clock on Thursday. And this is going to keep all my notes. These are permanent, so it just lets me know what I've done in this case. The checklist, of course, once you click on that, it doesn't show it here, but there will be a checklist pop up, and that's just information that you provided to the client during the coaching session. Excuse me. So you may see where they're wanting financial coaching as you go in, but when you actually talk to them, they may say, hey, well, I want information on investments, or I want information on what tax implications are there with certain investments and so forth. Just this gives you a place to check and just let us know, hey, this is what else I talked with them about. So these are the only things that you need to worry about for the aspect of coaching and counseling of the client. Keep in mind, we understand you each are professionals, so we are not here to tell you how to do your job. If you want to sit down with a pad and notebook paper and a pen and just chat with them, from your living room and provide coaching for them, you can do that. The only thing that we ask that you do is you come back into the network, just put your notes in and go to the checklist and just let us know what you provided coaching to them for, and then go to the status and then mark it as complete, and then let it go off your file management table. Ideally, this is kind of a one and done for as far as coaching goes, to where you're reaching out, you're answering the questions that they have, you're working with them to budget. But then you've got people like Beverly that come in and really go the extra mile. And I see they've spent several hours with clients and done a great job. If you choose to do that, that's perfectly fine. We're not going to tell you no, but we do understand your time is, like I said, extremely important to you. You're doing this as a volunteer opportunity. You're providing help to veterans and their family members. So if you get somebody you really like and you want to go the extra mile for them, just leave the case open, put your notes in it, call them back for their next appointment. If you choose to do that, that's fine. And just let us know by closing it out when you're done. But ideally, hey, I've called them, I've answered their questions. If they say, are you going to keep calling me back or what? I usually just say, no, for the purpose of this program, it's a one-time coaching session. And you can make recommendations of who they need to contact or who they need to work with to help them better improve their self and so forth. One last thing, as far as everything I wanted to kind of cover with you on this, is once you're done doing everything, this submit hour button's right here. This helps you keep track of how much volunteer work you've done. And it just lets us know that this coach has provided, 20, 25 hours of volunteer time to work with these clients. So what you can do is just click on that. I worked with them for an hour and spent 15 minutes of admin time, and just leave that as no, that's fine. Or you could put admin time only and then click submit. And then that's going to have a report available to you if you ever need it, showing you the total amount of time that you've committed to this program and you've provided coaching. Just another way as a resume enhancer of, look what, these are the things that I've done outside of just certified financial planning. I've worked with veterans, military personnel, and so forth. It's a very simple process. Your file comes in, you're going to look over everything, scroll down to file details, and then the top 5 things right here are what you're in, top 6 things are what you're interested in doing and what you're interested in dealing with. And once you've done with that, then you're going to click out of it or go back to your file management, and then you'll start all over with the next column. As you can see, I completed that. So now it's gone. I no longer have any files on there until I assign you another file. Like I said, I'm available anytime, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen right here. I'm available anytime to provide answers to questions that you may have, direction or whatever. If you have somebody that's got questions or needs financial help, I can give you some ideas on who to refer them to. The only thing I would tell you, if you ever had, I've run into this situation several times over the years. We just tell people, up front, if you run into a veteran who says, I'm going to commit suicide or I'm going to kill myself, financial issues are very sticky, and it's a very sticky situation when you're dealing with somebody that has disability issues and so forth. What I do automatically at that point is I end the counseling session with them and I let them know, hey, here's the number to the crisis hotline, the VA crisis hotline. I'm recommending that you reach out to them for assistance, because we are not counselors on how to keep people from preventing, how to stop themselves from killing themselves and so forth. But what we want to do is direct them automatically to the VA crisis line. And what you can do is say, hey, I want you to deal with these feelings that you're having right now and what you're facing right now. The financial stuff is not as important. So let's maybe come back in a week from now and let's talk about this after you've talked with the people at the VA crisis line, and then you can address it. And just let me know, hey, Steve, this is what I ran into. Like I said, I've only had it happen maybe 4 or 5 times over 13 years. That doesn't mean that you won't have it happen the first time you talk to somebody, but probably not. So that's really, in essence, the whole gist of the network and everything that you're going to be focused on and what you're going to be, dealing with when you come into the network. I would like to see, once you're assigned a case, if you can't reach them within 2 phone calls, if you send an email, We do recommend you call them first, kind of a best practice we've noticed over the past year and a half, that if you call them first, that's going to be your best opportunity to reach them because they're interested in financial counseling. If you send them an email first, then basically that email is probably going to sit in their inbox for a couple of days. They're probably going to ignore it. And then by the time they do realize, hey, this is for counseling, they may not even be interested at that point. So just shoot out, give them a call, set up an appointment with them that works for both of you. And they're going to know that you're calling because I'm going to call and basically verify that this is a coaching session, that they're available for coaching, that they want to go through with it before I assign this case to you. So I will open it up for questions, and what do y'all have for me? Or
And there's some questions in the chat, and I was responding some of the messages, so forgive me if I missed any of the responses. But in terms of, so if you want to take a break from receiving cases, did you walk through the process for that, Steve?
Yeah, if you want to take a break from receiving cases, you can, you can let me know. You can shoot me a message. Hey, Steve, I don't want to receive any more cases. That's usually most case what people do. They're like, I don't want any more cases right now. You can also change your availability to do not disturb or not available. That will let me know. And if for some reason one slips through where I sent you a case, shoot me back an email. Hey, Steve, I've had this happen. I'm out of the country. I won't be back for 3 weeks. I'll let you know when I'm back. That is perfectly fine. I'll keep track of that for you, and just let me know when you're back in town if you're able to receive more cases, and I'll let you have them from that point.
And then, Steve, when you assign cases, like, can you talk about some of the characteristics that you use to match volunteers with?
Sure, Rachel. Yep, definitely. So some of the if you're a veteran or a previous military member, and you put that in your profile as a financial coach, if I see that, hey, maybe Beverly served in the Army, or maybe she served in the Air Force or something like that, and I'm going to try to align her with Air Force clients. And then another thing we do, we try to keep you guys in the same time zone. I don't really want to be assigning cases to you as a financial coach if you're on the Eastern Seaboard versus, hey, this person lives in California, the 3-hour time difference. We try to be respectful of your time. We try to be respectful of what you're doing as a volunteer. So, you just let me know if that works for you or not. But I mean, in reality, if everything worked great, that would be fine. But we try to put cases with who we think they'll best match with. If I don't see anybody, I'll just go ahead and assign them to you. And if it's something you don't feel comfortable working, don't hesitate to send me a message and say, I don't want to deal with this client. I don't have information in this area of what they're requesting. So you'll see different types of financial coaching that the client wants. They may want to talk about taxes. They may want to talk about bankruptcy. They may want to talk about, how to build a budget, how to deal with collection accounts, anything financial. And I always tell clients when I'm coaching them, I'm like, well, I don't know anything about that, but this is the professional, or this is who I would recommend you reach out to for information on that. So another thing you can do too is if you've reached out to the client a couple of times and they've not responded back, instead of no-showing that client, if it's something to where you can answer that client via email, for instance, like, how long does it take for bankruptcy to come off of my credit bureau? That may be a question that you see. Well, you can answer that via email. That's kind of a no-brainer. You see that it's 7 years or whatever. So send them a message letting them know the time frame and just mark that case as completed because you are providing that information to them. It's just another way that we've counseled that client or that veteran and given them the information they're looking for. Other questions that you have?
Beverly, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience? Examples of some of the cases that you've had and any tips that you have for these volunteers?
Sure. Yeah, I've been doing this since May, and I've done, I don't know, a couple of dozen people so far. And So I've had a few, consistent things. A lot of them are, some of them are pretty young, recently out of the military. I've been finding that the disability that they have, they're pretty much all were in the war on terror and are disabled partially or completely. And it seems to be, mental type issues and stress, et cetera. So I think it is good to look through that and just kind of know where they're coming from, before you speak with them. I love the tool. The tool part of it is great for me because I like that I can just pull up the case, kind of get to know them a little bit, see what they're looking for. Sometimes they'll ask things different than even what they said they're looking for, but that's fine too. It's all been general things. Somebody, they just can't figure out how to cut back on their spending. And so then we talk about that a little. A lot of the things that you deal with your clients where you're kind of like a psychologist, a therapist, as well as the financial side. And, I'll send some of them as basic, like, have you ever done a budget? And the FTC.gov has great basic information that is very, layman's terms. And I've, used that before with people. And they have a great make a little mini budget worksheet that's very simple. So I'll send them that. The couple that I've done, where, like Steve said, where I've had more than one meeting with them, I'll send them that, and then we'll set up a time to talk next week after they kind of have a handle on their budget. Some of them will already have it, and so then we'll just talk through. And one person, he had to deal with his PTSD. He had like 17 streaming services and, between music and movies, and then his kid liked certain movies and his wife liked certain movies. So, and through COVID, they just kept adding them on. And then of course they've all raised their rates, and all of that added up to a lot of money. So we just kind of talked through, and I said, you know what, why don't each of you, the three of you, pick your favorite one and just keep that one for the next 6 months and see how that goes. And then maybe you will find which one you really missed and maybe swap it out and kind of alternate them, year by year or something. So a couple of things like that. I do find the tool very helpful in that I just put my notes in there so that if they were to ever come back for follow-up, I mean, you just never know. Or if I want to look back, I have gone back and looked back. I'm like, oh, somebody had this same scenario and I sent them resources. So now I kind of have this document where I just kind of keep a list of all the resources that I've used so far. So I just kind of have them handy because you get some of the repeat things from people. Like about debt management, or Steve provided me some links to some programs that they may qualify for. And so I saved those and have sent those to multiple people. And I definitely agree with Steve. I'll plan my, my time that I'm like kind of 10 to 2, Tuesday through Thursday are kind of the time windows that I'll do volunteer stuff. So I'll kind of call them during that time one day. And if I don't get them, because, a lot of people won't answer their phone if they don't know who it is, then I just leave a voicemail of who I am. And I'm also going to send you an email following up. And please respond to that and let me know, or call me back, and let me know a good time where we can set up a day and time. And I'll suggest some days and times because of my, blocking my time for this purpose. I only email them through the system, and I really like that because it's not going through my work email system. It's going through the CAN portal email system. And so I kind of set up my signature there with my phone number and my name so that they can see how to contact me. And that I like that the emails kind of go through that. And it is good to track your hours. As soon as I close a case, it prompts you, and I just submit the hours right there. And then I've used that report, and then, how we can self-report on the CFP board site, and you can just go there and update, as your hours accumulate, because they are, we do have the goal of trying to get everybody to do 20 hours each year or something there. So I do encourage you to do that. Somebody asked about the E&O. I did do the Foundation for Financial Planning's training class and got that certificate. And because I don't know if my E&O covers this or not, but I'm like, well, why wouldn't I just have, risk management? Why wouldn't I just have their coverage too? So that was an easy training to do. And I just kept on that certificate, don't anticipate any problems, but you just never know. And let's see, what else did I have? Oh,
that's a good point, Beverly. So in order to be eligible for our insurance, you do have to take our pro bono financial planning volunteer training, which you can access through our website.
Yep. And I did I did try the calendaring to schedule meetings with the client, with the people through the system, and that was just too cumbersome for me, and I think a lot of them as well too. And just know that sometimes if you're sending people a document, they may only be accessing this portal apparently through their phone. And then, of course, then they're not gonna be able to get documents necessarily that way, depending upon, they've had limitations. So if you're trying to send them a document, or you might just have to tell them they may need to, ask them if they have access to a PC or a tablet. And I did just create a sample client myself when I was playing around with it, and actually did it when I first did this first training. And I signed up all during the training while Rachel and Steve were talking. That's how quick and easy it is to get signed up. And then I just played around with a sample client, created myself as the sample client, used my personal email so that I could just kind of see when I update things at all, what is the client seeing? Because it'll prompt you, it'll say, you're going to update this and it's going to go to them, just so that I could see kind of their experience, their side. And that's about it.
Yeah, and feel free, like Beverly said, you can get there and play around all you want. You're not going to break the system. If you do, that's great because we need to fix it. That's going to be something that's going to show a weakness within the system. So feel free to get in there and play around, look at the tools, look at the assessments that we have. You might find that that's something you choose to use. Richard, you had asked.
Wait, I was gonna add one other thing that I forgot. If somebody asked in the chat if you're familiar with military benefits and all, the thrift plans, if you just go to the tsp.gov site, you can see all the investment options if you haven't helped military people before. Very basic, very straightforward. There's like 5 funds and some lifestyle funds. And I do find that that's helpful for you to understand that. I have helped some of them where they didn't understand how they should be invested, or when they left the military, do they have to leave it? Do they have to roll it out? Which of course they don't. And for most of them, leaving it there in the government TSP plan is probably the right answer. So it's good just to help them make sure their allocation is correct for them, which is very easy to do with that plan.
Right, and we do have a lot of military veterans that come in that are specifically requesting, hey, I need to make my car payment, I need to make my house payment, and so forth. I will refer them to organizations when I contact them. So you're not going to really need to have a lot of, I need to know all these places I can refer them to, because I will have already done that. And lots of times I'll include that in the notes when I send that case to you for coaching. Just to let you know who I referred them to reach out for help with their light bill, their water bill, and then you can talk with them about their budget if that's what they choose to do. Richard, you talked about consistency throughout the organization and the advice you may offer versus what Beverly may offer. You're all board certified. You're certified financial planners, so we trust your professionalism. Somebody's, and a lot of the questions that people are asking are basic, questions. If they're wanting to know the tax implications on their 501c3 or something like that, I'm not going to deal with that client. My basic information to them is, hey, you need to contact a tax professional that deals with small business. So we leave it up, once again, we leave it up to you as a professional and how you want to provide coaching to this particular veteran that's dealing with this specific situation or whatever comes up during the counseling session. And then, like I said, I'm always available if it's something that you don't know or you may have some issues about. Shoot me a message and I can say, yeah, let's proceed with this, or let's just end it here. And there's really nothing else you can provide for them, and then go from there. So, does that answer your question? Great, awesome.
Brendan, did you have a question?
Yeah, Steve and Rachel. So Beverly kind of answered a little bit, but I'm a former Marine, so I understand the financial planning needs a lot of enlisted personnel are going to have particularly.
Right.
But now I work with high net worth individuals on using money, and that my financial planning process that I use with clients now probably is going to translate over to working with current military personnel. So I was just curious, is there any sort of deliverable we're setting out? So, or are we trying to put together a retirement plan, or just kind of give them general financial counseling?
I found that basically, depending on what their situation was, I'll just do one final email to them through the portal. Once again, summarizing, here's what we talked about. Here's what I think you should do. Like if it was improve your credit score, your debt management, the resources I sent them, and just I summarize it in that one email to them. Very informal.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So you're not really taking them through a retirement plan per se.
well, that may come up if you choose to do that with that client. That's not necessarily the people that are coming into the network looking for counseling. So a lot of the individuals that are coming in through the network are going to be they're not going to be your officer corps, although you probably, and I'm talking to Brennan, he knows what I'm talking about. Some of y'all may not. They're not going to be your officer corps. It's going to be more enlisted. So you'll see anywhere people from rank from private up to, uh, in some cases, command sergeant major. That may or may not be the case. And you'll see as well as officers, majors, and so forth. So people of all ranks do come into the network and request financial counseling, financial coaching, advice on investments, or, hey, should I invest in a 401k versus an IRA, and so forth. So, if you choose, and Rachel, do you want to address that on if they choose to work with them on a financial plan, how that works, or moving forward with that?
Like a paid financial plan.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's something that we really discourage. If the client keeps pushing it, of course, you have to end the pro bono engagement. And then we encourage you to send them to a site like letsmakeaplan.org so that they can research other advisors in their area or that might meet their needs. If they do that and they still want to work with you, then that's acceptable. But
Yeah, I wasn't talking about being about paid or
Yeah.
anything, but
yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, and then Brendan, you had a question about you needed Can's address. Steve, will you put that in the chat or send it?
It's canportal.org.
Oh no, the physical address. Like if Brendan needs to get approval from his compliance department, like what address should he use?
I'll have to find that out and get that back to you because I work remote as well. So I don't have it on my mind right away. I'll get that and I'll send that to you, Rachel.
Okay.
And disseminate it with everybody as far as that goes. My email address is
So not to be I think you put it in the chat, the Stout at Veterans Plus, or Rachel did. So two very different type of questions. I think some of it's been addressed, but who are we working? Is Veterans Plus an organization? Is who is Financial Foundation for Financial Planning? Is it all of the above? Who are we actually volunteering through? Because it's a little complicated, and then there's a little bit of a follow-up on that.
sure.
Yeah. Steve, why don't you describe? Yeah, I think it's like just an overview of like what CAN is and how Veterans Plus is connected would be helpful.
Sure, absolutely. Veterans Plus is basically our 501c3 that we partner with our partners and work with veterans and military personnel to provide financial education and coaching. That's the Veterans Plus umbrella. What we did is we created the network, the Coordinated Assistance Network, and we've made it basically open to civilians as well as military members, veterans, and so forth. So we have several different branches that we're working through. The network is basically where you come as an individual to request financial coaching, financial counseling. So when veterans come to us, they're coming to Veterans Plus through the network, and then those cases are assigned to the coaches or the volunteers that are working with those individuals. So you're providing free financial coaching, free financial planning. We just say through the Coordinated Assistance Network. That is our main thing that we're working as far as the network goes, that we're working through. Veterans Plus is just where the veterans recognize who we are as an organization to provide coaching and counseling for them. Does that make sense, kind of?
It does, and I think this might be tied into more of Brendan's questions, but there's just a lot of compliance stuff now, that just,
Sure.
and, we just want to, we're not doing anything wrong here. We're trying to do everything right. So, but it's still complicated. And, so
Right.
I think, obviously we can ask questions if we get some pushback, but there are some basic, like who are you doing this through? Who are you doing this for? And that's why that, the official answer there, is important. The foundation for financial planning might be something more that our compliance people are a little more familiar with, but that doesn't sound like, although there might be training that's tied in through that, which I thought I took. It's one of those, I'm trying to act on that site too, trying to figure out whether I can find that I took the training
Yeah,
yet.
we can look that up for you, Greg.
Yeah. And then, so that's the one side. The whole other side is, and this maybe goes a little back to what Beverly was talking about, but in her experience, but we tend to, I tend to work in a world where I deal with assets. That's how I get paid. So,
Sure.
so the types of questions, I feel a little like I might not be prepared to help real people with real problems because I deal with people who have assets who can pay me. So,
Right.
but I also feel that I have, a few years under my belt at this point, and that I have some common sense and I can help, even if that's not what I do really. I don't really do a lot of budgeting or trying to pay off credit cards. I talk to a lot of people about stuff, but how do you balance that? The fact that our expertise has really developed in one area, yet we're helping in kind of a different area.
I can give that one a try. I'm like you, and the people that are asking for this help would not meet our AUM requirement, right, to become clients. So there's no conflict to me. And the planning they're going to need isn't even the full planning, like that we would do a full write-up that, it's like one section of the whole plan that they would need help with. And so feel free to use your software and send them that one page if you want to. I don't think there's any harm in that. I found that it's more like talking to my own children. My daughter is just started her career just out of college, and she actually works for the Air Force, and she's just told me about some basic financial things like credit cards and how to get cash back and the rates and paying it off, and that the people do not know her age. Her young people do not know. And I know I've offered, and maybe you have too with some of your clients, to talk to their children. And so it's like that. Or if through networking, you've ever had people come to you and they don't meet kind of your criteria to become a client, but they're in a group through the chamber or whatever networking you do, and you just want to help them. And maybe they're like, oh, I've got these student loans. And so you just sit there and you find that that's what I found surprising about this. Like the basic things that we just know, I think we just take for granted because they're just so basic, and they're the easy, basic no-brainers to us that we're just like, when you meet somebody that doesn't know, oh, you don't have a high yield savings account, like you have your money sitting in the bank not earning anything, you're not getting points on your credit card. Or my daughter ran into people, their credit limit was so small on their credit card that it was like a completely useless card, and they got it through the USAA, or through the credit union on the military base or whatever. They're just not even getting the basics, is what I'm finding.
Great, that's helpful. And maybe a little pep talk I needed, but thank you.
You'll be surprised at how helpful you are. And regardless of their age, it's kind of like a parenting conversation. It's just the basics. Yep.
Don't make a joke about whether they would actually listen to me like my children do, or whether like a stranger.
Well, you'd be amazed how many people I've had say, well, I really needed that dad talk. Thank you. And I'm like, you should listen to your father 20 years ago when all this started.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Greg, I just checked, you did complete our volunteer training.
And that's embarrassing that I cannot, there were so many emails that came through that process and from different places that it's hard to even sometimes search. So I tried to volunteer one day to too many things. And then I think thank you for following up with us, because I think I would have let them all just kind of disappear if you hadn't followed up. So I appreciate you guys following up. So thank you for checking that.
Well, we knew that everyone has different timelines and everyone wants to help, but everyone's so busy. So, sometimes we send too many reminders, and if you ever don't want to be on the list anymore, we can take you off. But
sure. And keep in mind, ideally, we'd love to have everybody volunteering. If your compliance department says no or whatever, that's perfectly fine. It just may not be the program for you. We try to make it, like I said, as simple as possible, and then, let you know as much ahead of time what you're looking at as far as coaching with this client. And then let you work on the session at your own pace, and whatever tools you decide to use, go back through the network and then close the case out and let us know a little bit of what you did with it. And everything's
I
good
think
for
the
me.
fact that the CFP board is really pushing it and really asking us all to do this many hours, and that this is through the Financial Planning Association, I think that gives it the credibility, and it is all not for profit, that I
We
think.
actually, we also have like a FAQ sheet that we developed for compliance departments that I can send out. Is it on our website, Jordan? If it is, I'll provide a link right now.
That would be really helpful. And then I too, I did what Beverly did. I signed, as you were going through, I signed in, and I think I even signed the document and sent that up. So in theory, if all that happened and I did it right, which I don't know that I did, the next step would be to schedule one person to try to make
Oh,
one go.
Steve's gonna give you a case before we're off the call. You just.
I promise
Is
I
there that
won't.
kind of demand? I mean, are you guys running like, is there tons of demand, and not enough of us, or what's going on?
It depends on the month. So we do get cases flowing in, and there's not enough CFPs to work them, or maybe the planner hasn't. Some of the issues we're running into, and I'll kind of let you know this. This is neither here nor there, not affecting any of y'all. But if you're a planner and you're working with a client, and you have the case, ideally, we would like for that case to be worked and closed out within 2 weeks. I will set a time when I assign a case that I expect the case to be completed in 2 weeks. Ignore that. We would like for it to be completed in 2 weeks. If you choose to do it in a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever works for you and the veteran, that's fine. But if you've called them twice, you sent them an email, they haven't responded, close it out. Don't waste your time on it. Don't waste your energy on it. You've done what we've asked you to do. You can put admin time. Hey, I worked on this 30 minutes, and the client never reached back out to me. Do that because you want to claim the time that you're spending in the program. But ideally, we don't want to have that case open really no more than 2 weeks. And if you're working on them a month or two, I've got some CFPs that have had the cases open for 6 or 7 months. I'll send them an email. Can you give me an update on where you are with this veteran, just so we can close the case out? And I've had them tell me, well, they're out of country. I'm going to call them back in August and finish up the counseling session with them. If you choose to do that, that's okay, but you don't have to do that. So it may be something where you're going to let the veteran know, hey, when you get back, I don't have this much time to commit to this case. So when you get back, just reapply for counseling, and they'll get you taken care of then. We'll reassign them to somebody else. So like I said, we want to be highly respectful of your time and what you're doing to come into this program and volunteer for this program. And I try to be as understanding and responsive as I can with any questions or any concerns that you may have as a certified financial planner. If you need to reject a case, reject a case. It's not going to hurt my feelings or anything. That's just something that, hey, it's not for you. That's fine. We'll assign it to somebody else who can work it, and then go from there. Okay. Any other questions? Awesome. Everybody's quiet, so I'll take that as a no. Well, thank you so much for joining the call. For those that are choosing to come into the program, I'll be going through and accepting you and engaging you as a coach. And then any other questions that you have, feel free to reach out to me, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone. Again, please reach out if you have any questions, and we really appreciate you being here today.
Bye-bye.
Bye.